A bakery down the road from me just burned down. Now, sadly, all their business is toast. What is going on, YouTube? Today, we are here with an exciting video because we have a brand new ESO event coming to us here. Today was originally meant to be our theory video, and part of me is ready to talk about those theories because you guys notice how Meridia is all over this calendar right now. 7 days to get Dawnbreaker, 7 days to get the Sunburst face tattoos, 7 days to get the music box of Meridia, 7 days to get the statue. Look, here it all is. Is this not a clue? But they're just throwing all these other clues at us. I do not know. I plan to do some sort of live stream this weekend. I'll post more details about that sometime soon, where we can talk about all the different theories that we have and kind of come together and make one grand one. But let's talk about the ESO event that's brand new here for us. And the title is Quest, Hunt, Pilfer, and Conquer during the Guilds and Glory Celebration event. And the most important thing that I'm going to tell you is that it occurs from January 18th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until January 30th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. When does it start? January 18th. When does it end? January 30th. That is a Thursday. That would be next Thursday, January 18th. Why am I saying this so much? Because 50,000 comments will still be, Jake, when does this event start? So I'm telling you guys all right now, so you all know. It'll probably also be in the thumbnail or the video title, one of the two, January 18th. But this is actually going to be pretty cool. And that's because it focuses on so many different areas. For example, you're going to get bonuses from places such as Hrothgar, Hughesbane, Gold Coast, Imperial City, and Maul of Lorcan weekly quests. So what it's going to work is you're going to get these rewards from those places, double reward boxes from what I just told you, but also reward boxes from Thieves Guild heists, Dark Brotherhood sacraments, increased resource nodes, additional boss loot from Hrothgar, Hughesbane, Gold Coast, as well as Delve Public Dungeon bosses, additional loot from Sweepers and Cold Harbor elites in the inside of the Imperial City and sewers, as well as the Mara Lorcan bosses, as well as additional boss drops from Maelstrom Arena, Imperial City Prison, and White Gold Tower dungeons. Pretty insane. So there's a whole lot to unpack here. I think the best thing we can do is just go through everything detail-wise and then break down what's probably the best thing for you to do if you want to get different types of things. For example, if you want to get good healing gear, focus on this. If you want good DPS gear, focus on this. Money, focus on this. So let's just break down the event as a whole first, and then we'll kind of break it down further. So they do note here that to participate, you will need the Orsinium DLC, Thieves Guild DLC, Dark Brotherhood, or the Imperial City DLC, but the Imperial City DLC is actually now free for everybody. Then they tell us that during the Guilds and Glory celebration, you can earn glorious rewards once per day from the first quest completion in Hrothgar, Hughesbane, or Gold Coast, or by finishing the Maul of Lorcan weekly quests, and you're going to get yourself some pretty generic items, but still good. You're going to be able to get crafting materials, sellable treasures. Those are those things you can sell to merchants for like 500 to a couple hundred gold, sometimes 1,000 gold. Style items, Ancient Orc, Malakath, Trinimac. Outlaws will have Thieves Guild or Abba's Watch if it's from Hughesbane, Assassins, League, Minotaur, Dark Brotherhood, or Word of the Hour if it is from the Gold Coast. And those style items are pretty decent. For those of you who don't know, style items work that if you're trying to either make a set of armor or if you're making furniture from that area, you need to use the style item. So they're usually a decent chunk of resale value. Overland item sets is probably not going to be a huge focus. While I think Hrothgar's got some pretty decent sets to sell, such as Briarheart, nobody's going to be really buying the sets during this event. Now, companion gear, definitely a good chance people are going to want to buy those things. Crafting recipes, nothing shouts out as me as saying, there's going to be some OP crafting recipes. Treasure maps and survey reports will always vary significantly based on where they're from. Now, motif chapters is a little interesting. So you have the ability to get Ancient Orc, Malakath, Trinimac, Outlaws, Thieves Guild, or Abba's Watch, Assassin's League, Minotaur, Dark Brotherhood, or Word of the Hour, and Bristleback. And these actually are probably going to be worth a decent click of money. Minotaur and Order of the Hour, as well as Ancient Orc, stand out to me as the most valuable ones, depending on your console, how many people own different types of ones. Outlaw is another pretty decent one to sell depending on your console and server, but it's going to depend on you guys. But Bristleback Hunter Armor Style, which is this right here, is brand new, and it will probably be worth selling regardless. Now, a quick kind of summary as to when you should sell these style pages is if it is a brand new style page, your best bet is to sell it immediately. Sell it immediately. I sell it for way higher than it's worth, 50 to 100k gold immediately. And then by the end of the event, it's worth probably between 5 and 15k gold, depending on how good it looks. Now, my general method still stands that if it's a bigger piece and it looks really cool, then it's probably worth more. So this shoulder here looks immaculate with that little tusk on it. The helmet looks cool. The chest looks a little generic. The legs look pretty decent. You're probably going to get, more value for the things that look cool. It's a pretty simple rule of thumb. If things look good, they're probably going to sell for more. That's the general thing that you can just, know as a person that sells things. And if you complete consecutive dailies, you basically have the chance to get all this stuff again, which is everything that we just talked about again. So, pilfer your way to new riches. You can receive a second glorious reward box once per day. So this is that higher tier item by looting the final boss within the Imperial City Prison, White Gold Tower, and in Maelstrom Arena. And they contain the exact same things. The notable thing about doing this once per day, though, is you have a higher chance to getting your guaranteed furnishing plan, treasure maps, or motif chapters. Now, why that's important is because getting treasure maps can actually be exceptionally valuable, especially if you're getting good DLC ones, and a chance for the Bristleback Hunter outfit style, which is probably going to be worth pretty good click at the beginning of the event, because it does look really nice. And then you can earn regular reward boxes by finishing the end, and that's just if you go do the same White Gold Tower final boss again, yada yada, you get the same stuff. Now, here's where it becomes even more crazy, because now we got to rope in the Imperial City. So you have the option to kill a sweeper boss or an Imperial City daily quest. Imperial City daily quests are exceptionally fast to get, and then these reward boxes basically contain everything else except the motifs are different because you have the Jvin, Aldury Dominion, Daggerfall Covenant, Ebonheart Pact. Those motif styles are older, don't necessarily sell for as much these days, but I would say that there's definitely some pieces that look really cool on them. Specifically, the helmets and the shoulders look really cool, and the chest piece also looks pretty good as well. Crafting materials, Telvar stones. I wish that this would be a double Telvar event. I don't think it is, but that would certainly be pretty neat. City fragments, sellable treasures, yada yada, bristleback. So now you have a third really high guaranteed chance to get treasure maps. Unfortunately, these ones are Cyrodiilic, motif styles, or furnishing recipes. Furnishing recipes from those zones are all right. If you've never noticed, the zone that you play in, like, so if you walk into a house in Rothgard, you look around and you're like, oh, look at these tables and cabinets and chairs and blah blah blah. Well, guess what? Those are the exact same things that you can craft once you learn the crafting styles from that zone. It's really not complicated. And if you walk in a zone and you're like, ooh, this is pretty niche, I don't know how many people are going to want to build a house like this. That generally goes to its resale value as well. But, it's still good. And then the sweeper bosses, so once you kill them, you still have a chance to get other things as well, which means that if you go around and kill Imperial City sweeper bosses, you actually could farm a pretty good chunk of things. And that's one of the things that we're going to talk about once we get all the way through here. But you can see there's more. Additionally, you can earn further reward boxes by participating in the following activities: slaying world bosses in Rothgar, Hughes Bay, and Gold Coast, defeating the final bosses in Imperial City Prison, White Gold Tower, or Maelstrom Arena, opening treasure maps, opening safe boxes, looting objects such as barrels, crates, etc., Citric portals, Thieves Guild troves, harvesting resources. And then they say few because there's a ton of ways to earn things, and then they kind of go over everything that we just did. Here is how the event tickets and the impresario will work. And thankfully, you only have to do one of the things here to get your 2 event tickets. Hallelujah, because that would be very painful if you had to do multiple things. So, of course, we can't forget about those event tickets. During you can earn 2 event tickets for the first of the following activities you complete. My recommendation is probably just going to be a world boss. Log out of a world boss, be the final thing you do one day, first thing you do the next day. Pretty easy. You could also, depending on what you're farming, maybe you want to use this as an opportunity to finish out your Maelstrom Arena sticker book. You could do the Maelstrom Arena daily. You could do daily quests in the Imperial City. Unfortunately, the stuff that you earn from the Imperial City that you used to be able to grind for daily, the outfit style, it's just really not worth it anymore. Not even worth mentioning. It's almost worth like 1 to 200,000 gold, and you had to spend 50 days grinding for it. So while yes, the Imperial City daily quests are neat, don't necessarily recommend doing those over another zone. I actually think there's a lot of really good opportunity here, but let's finish up before I tell you my opinion. You're going to be able to get the stuff from the illusionary pet. That'll be the first round here. Commendations. This will be the little pet that you can earn. This will be the master's markings. This would be the Indrakes and all that other stuff. And we have gone through the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle. So let us first talk about which zones I think are best to farm. And that is actually going to be Hrothgar as one of the best zones to farm. In this area down here, you are going to see the #1 areas when it comes to chests in a single conduced area. So you got chests, you have double resources, and those resources are going to give you a chance to give you some really good extra items. So from that, I think this is a pretty good area if you're just looking to loot the overland, get yourself some chests. Don't really care about gear, although I would say that the gear from all of these zones is nothing special per se, but I think that if you were looking for a decent set, I think Hrothgar is definitely up there when it comes to decent sets. That's a really good option for you. And in +2, if you do log out over here, you could start your day by killing the unfinished Dolem world boss. Bada bing, bada boom. Next, let's talk about Hugh's Bane. Great for resources. The sets here, Savara Scales is actually really good. And if you're looking for a zone that's got a little bit of flair to it, it could be fun to run the heist. Why might you be interested in running Hugh's Bane over Hrothgar or over the other zones? And the answer is actually simply, if you wanted to get a purple ring of Savara Scales, how would you do it? Go ahead, shout out the answer if you want. The answer is it's terrible. It's one of the zones that does not have things such as dolmens, dragons. It doesn't have, creepy skeletons and vampires that shoot out of the pots and pans, basically. So when you consider that, it's really hard to get the jewelry pieces from here. So it could be fun to do the heist if you're trying to roll for some of those items. Do I think that they'll sell well in the long term? Potentially. It's still a decently used set every so often. It has unfortunately been nerfed, but because it is such a set that is unique, people still usually do buy the jewelry for it, and it can be a good set to sell for some resale value. But overall, it's one of those things that's not crazy good. But what I would say is heists are actually pretty fun, and a lot of people don't know this, but you can take multiple people into a heist. Then we get to the Gold Coast. The Gold Coast is a really flat zone, so if you're trying to loot open world resources, it's a great one to do that. Where it falls short very quickly is the sets here are hot garbage, not normal garbage. They are steaming hot. So if you're looking to make money off the overland sets, don't even try. But you will make money if you get the Minotaur motif and pretty much anything except the assassin motif, because for some reason that one is very common. So farming this zone gives you a good chance to get that motif. So from there, it could be worth doing, especially the Minotaur chess piece. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's actually worth a pretty good chunk of money. I don't even think it's worth showing you necessarily because it looks fairly generic to me, but I don't know, maybe I'll show it to you. And then that takes us to the Imperial City, which is pretty self-explanatory because killing sweeper bosses is already profitable. One of the #1 ways to farm Telvar. So you slap on some bonus rewards every time you kill one, get yourself a good chunk of Telvar. There'll be a lot of people there doing it, potentially, but probably not too many though, because a lot of people really hate the Imperial City with a burning passion. So due to that, it's going to be very lucrative a way to farm those boxes on repeat. And as always, Telvar is just a great resource to convert to gold, and I've got plenty of videos talking about that, but I might do an updated one when this event comes out because I want to give you guys the most up-to-date information because I've been experimenting with a lot of different things, and I've been looking into how it's better to convert on console versus PC versus console, because it's actually very different, the types of things that you want to use your Telvar on. So I'll be doing a breakdown, updated breakdown video on that as well. Then there's Maelstrom Arena. Do I suggest you do Maelstrom Arena? Yes, it's exceptionally easy these days. It's a good set of skill that really can kind of go to show that you're really improving as a solo player. I think it's also teaches about mechanics. It's a good thing to do. And in addition to that, the weapons there are not bad that you get from it. I know that a lot of them, most notably the Flame Staff, have been nerfed. It's not as prevalent as it once was in the meta. However, when you always have items that were meta prevalent, and then you've got some others that still are, I think it's just valuable to own those because guess what? One day they might be meta relevant again, and it's never bad to have something that's in the top 5 to 10 best in slot things to use. Even if it's not #1, it could still be #3. For me, the White Gold Tower is a very fun dungeon that is very painful if you don't know the mechanics to it. However, once you've learned it, the White Gold Tower is exceptionally fun to do. So, is there anything good in there that's worth doing? Yes, I think Spell Power Cure is one of the best in slot sets for both ball groups for PvP and 4-man content, and will also sometimes trickle into the other types of PvE content as well. It's a great set to have. It's one of the best in slot support sets, depending on what you're trying to do, so I can highly encourage you guys to go out and get it. Then we have Imperial City Prison, which has the Leeching set, which is an interesting tank set because it is a great set at keeping you alive, so it's perfect for PvP. In PvE, it's great for keeping you alive, but not always do you want to run a set like Leeching because, for those of you who don't know, a tank's purpose is not just to keep itself alive and, keep the boss on them. A lot of it is also giving out buffs to allies as well, and Leeching doesn't really do the latter. It will keep you alive, but it's not going to really be giving out a lot of buffs and things that are making your team able to kill things faster. So sometimes you see this set, sometimes you don't. Most notably, it's a great PvP tank set, and it can still be great at PvE, but sometimes it sees itself more in that type of, duo content. Some people have actually run this for arenas, depending on what they're trying to do. It can be a good learning set, and so on, but it really doesn't see a whole lot of play in things like trials. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a complete overview of this event and what I will be doing daily. I will do an updated Telvar video as well as a best ways to farm video for those of you who did not want to watch a full-length video. Of course, if you're here watching this outro, you probably are somebody that wanted to watch the full length. So there'll likely be a chopped up version as well on daily farming routines, especially as I continue to experiment with different things, because this is a really weird combination of areas, especially throwing the Imperial City in, Dark Brotherhood, Thieves Guild, Rothgar. Very weird. We'll take it, obviously. We'll take it. And I definitely like the style pages that are being added as well. So stay tuned for that, as well as our theory live stream sometime this weekend with you guys, where we talk about everything that I have that, from the developers, theories, information from you guys. Always check out the Discord link below if you want to get involved in those conversations. Yesterday you guys told me to put the letter under a black light. I tried heating it up, tried looking, on the little leaves for the light. So tried a whole bunch of stuff, willing to try some more things. So let me know if you have ideas in the comments below. We're doing our 3 giveaway drawings. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed. We're on the road to 20K. Like the video and leave a comment for the Family Feud. And then a random gift card code to Amazon will be flashed upon a screen during a random video throughout the month. And then afterwards, you will see the confirmation email in the community stream that somebody has redeemed it. And generally, the person so far has commented whenever I posted it. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jake Clips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.